Hello, everyone. This is Rick, and welcome to Astral Club. This episode is 5 steps to full astral projection. Before we get started, real quick, if you'd like to support the important work of spreading astral projection knowledge, you can join us on Patreon as a patron. You'll get non-commercial advanced videos on Sunday, and of course, we can talk back and forth on Patreon. If interested, there is a link in the description. Next up, if you'd like private astral projection lessons, these lessons are customized. I work with you, answer all your questions, review the rules of the road, on the astral, the various techniques that we will practice, including a guided meditation. I'm always in favor of ways that you can practice to astral projection that don't require a lot of extra time because we're all very busy in our daily lives. And if this is anything that you're interested in, you will find an email in the description where you can request more information. One of the questions that I see on a regular basis is people are experiencing the vibrational state. They know this is a prelude to astral projection, but they don't know where to go from there. So generally what happens is their body's asleep and it's paralyzed, their mind is awake, they're having this vibrational state, which is indicative of an increase in your vibrational rate in preparation for full astral projection, but they don't know where to go from here. So many astral projections are stillborn because people don't know what to do next. And really, if you don't have any training ahead of time, it's really too late at that point if you don't know what to do next. What I have here are 5 basic steps that you can use so that when you experience that vibrational state, you will have the method to leave your body. You will be able to understand what is necessary, what will exercises you have to use properly in order to have a full separation, a full astral projection. And these 5 steps are: number 1, pranayama breathing or yogic breathing; simple object visualization; transfer of consciousness to an inanimate object; number 4, consciousness transfer to a nearby area; and number 5, universal transfer of consciousness. These exercises have been used for thousands of years by Buddhists, by those involved in Hermetic magic. They are also used in people who do remote viewing. For those who don't know, remote viewing is sending a portion of your consciousness elsewhere on the physical plane to gain information about what's going on in that area and then bringing it back. You still have awareness of being in your physical body, but you're only sending, let's say, 10 or 20% of your consciousness away to a distant area. Astral projection, of course, is a full projection of consciousness where you are your astral body and you have no sense of being inside or being aware of your physical body. So they are different, but this particular exercise is efficacious for people interested in both disciplines, and it will assist those who have been stunted because they've experienced the vibrational state and then didn't know what to do next. So these are the exercises. The first is pranayama breathing. Now, many of you who meditate are already familiar with these types of yogic breathing. If you have a particular breathing practice that you are comfortable with, well, then you can stick with that. This is a basic breathing technique that will allow the individual to become centered and to be placed into a mental state where he has clarity, where the stresses and multitasking of the day start to fall away, because that's necessary for us to proceed onto the other steps. So how do you do this basic pranayama breathing? Well, it's quite simple, actually. You simply seat yourself in a comfortable place. Then you inhale through the nose to a count of 5. You hold to a count of 6. You then exhale through the mouth to a count of 4, and then hold to a count of 6. This breathing should be repeated until you are feeling centered, relaxed, without a lot of that daily buzzing going on in your head. Once you find yourself in that relaxed state, now you're ready to go to the next step, which is simple object visualization. Very few objects are required for this particular step. All you really need is, let's say, a table, a candle, a vase, a book, any simple object. The code word here, though, the key word, though, is simple. We don't want anything that's too ornate. So the candle should be a plain candle, or the vase a plain white or black, whatever, vase. Book, a simple book. You place the object that you select on top of that table. You then stare at that object until you feel you have captured the image in your mind's eye. Then you close your eyes. And I don't want you to necessarily imagine the object. I want you to see it through your third eye. And we all know where that is. It's that central part in your forehead. That's what I want you to use. In essence, like sort of an X-ray type vision. I want you to have the vision of this simple object as if you're seeing it with your closed real eyes, but through your third eye, which of course is where the pineal gland is. Now, at first, you won't be able to hold the object clearly for very long. You'll probably have some intruding thoughts. Oh, I have to remember to do this report for work tomorrow. Oh, and I have to get the car's oil changed. Okay, as soon as that starts happening, open your eyes and start the process again. Staring at the object until you have a good grasp of it. Close your eyes and then see it with your third eye and hold that image and concentrate on it to the exclusion of all other thoughts. I think you'll find that with experience, you will be able to do this longer and longer. Once you have mastered that, you can proceed on to the third step, which is transfer of consciousness to an inanimate object. So now you're not going to capture an image in your mind's eye. You are going to project your consciousness to an inanimate object in your room. If you like, it can be that candle or vase or book or anything, as long as it's relatively simple, in your room. And I want you to now experience reality from the position of that inanimate object. Now, that's going to take a little bit of practice. And so this step may take a little bit longer for you. But what all this is doing is it is preparing you to leave your physical body in such a way that you are used to projecting your consciousness outside of your physical body. That's the muscle we need to have strengthened so that when you hit the vibrational state, as your body is asleep and your mind is awake, you will be able to use these skills to project yourself out of your body. So that is number 3. Number 4 is a consciousness transfer to a nearby area. Now we're no longer going to a particular object. We're not concentrating on an object. Now we are going to project our consciousness to a nearby area. It can be at the foot of your bed. It can be across the room. It can be in your kitchen. It should be somewhere close by, though. And I want you then to experience reality from that nearby area. Experience your consciousness being projected to that nearby area. Sights, sounds, smells. What's it like? Try to make it as real as possible so that this type of translocation becomes second nature to you. Lastly is the universal transfer of consciousness. This is the final step. We are now going out into a much larger playground. Now you are projecting your consciousness to anywhere in the universe that you choose. And then the same thing is going to apply. If you're going to go to the pyramids, if you're going to go to Paris, if you're going to go to the moon, what have you, you must now experience what it is like to be in those places in this final exercise. Many of these exercises you can go back and forth. You certainly don't have to do them all at once. You could just, if you have a limited amount of time, just start with number 1 after you've done the breathing. The breathing's important. And then you can just do number 1, just using the object. If you feel you're going forward fast, you can go on to number 2. The main thing is to keep this practice up until you can do it reliably. What all this leads up to is when that vibrational state occurs, instead of feeling helpless, you will have a way to now not just mentally project yourself elsewhere, but through use of your will and the knowledge of these practices to actually project your full consciousness out of your body and experience a full astral projection. Now, I do want to make an addendum here. You want to make sure, as in all things, when you are doing any type of exercise of this nature, you want to make sure that you are healthy mentally and physically. If you are currently undergoing treatment from a doctor for a serious mental or physical illness, your energies should be focused elsewhere on healing yourself, not on doing these exercises. But assuming that you are in a healthy condition, both mentally and physically, then these exercises will come in handy. If you do them and do them in such a way that they become second nature to you, there can be all manner of disturbances in your environment, and you won't hear them. Now, it's preferable that you find yourself, especially when you're starting out, in as quiet a place as you can find, and notify whomever is living with you in your space that for the next X number of minutes that you should remain undisturbed. Your phone should be turned off, not just silenced, turned off. We don't want that thing interfering in our exercises at this point. It already interferes enough in our daily lives. Next time you find yourself in that vibrational state, once you have accomplished these exercises, you will be able to leave your physical body and then go wherever you wish to go, do whatever you wish to do, have a wonderful time, gain whatever wisdom you wish to accumulate, see whatever you wish to see, meet whatever entities you wish to meet, and when you return, you'll have a full memory of everything that has occurred. So, if these steps appeal to you, especially if you're someone who's had that experience in the past with a vibrational state that you didn't know what to do next, you didn't know how to get out of your physical body, well, these exercises will assist you in that particular area. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, share it with those of like minds. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you leave your questions, comments, and you can certainly comment on any techniques that you've used to help you get out of your body when you've been in the vibrational state. That's always helpful, and certainly any experiences that you've had that can help others, especially as pertaining to this type of an exercise, would be helpful. Don't forget that we've got 2 videos now every week, which if you're subscribed, especially with that bell rung, you'll be notified. But otherwise, we have one that comes out Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Time in the U.S., and of course, the typical Saturday 8:15 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Time U.S., for the second video. This is Rick, and I will see you on the astral plane.